that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV.
Joy Reid breaking down in tears over the cancellation of her MSNBC show, The Readout.
So I don't know if you heard the news, but Trump negotiated directly with Hamas to get an American prisoner released or hostage. So that's a big deal that he cut out Bibi, right? So that's the super good news here. There's also a couple of twists to this story. He's here. I'm happy to announce that Eden Alexander, an American citizen, but he's also more than that. And I'm going to tell you that in a second, who has been held hostage since October 23, is coming home to his family. I'm grateful for all those involved. This was the step taken in good faith towards the United States and efforts of its mediators, Qatar and Egypt. Hey, Qatar, I'm also vocally against this brutal war. Can I have a private jet too now? Come on, am I right? Come on. I got a lot of road gigs coming up, and boof.
Hey, Gutter, I'll say your name right. Gutter. Send me a jet.
To put an end to this brutal war and return all living hostages and remains of their loved ones. Hopefully, this is the first of those final steps necessary to end this brutal conflict. I look very much forward to this day of celebration. So he negotiates. So Trump negotiates directly with Yemen and says, "Hey, just don't bomb us. We won't bomb you. We're done having Israel's back over here in this fight." So cuts out. That's great. He then does a nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia and says, "Hey, you don't have to recognize Israel." So that's two. And now this is the third one. That's like just in a couple of days. Now, some people are saying this is all theater to make it look like there's a split between Bibi and Trump, and it really isn't. But I'll take the theater, at least. I guess I mean,
we'll find out whether it is or not, from whatever actual results come of it.
Netanyahu claims Israel breaking the ceasefire, imposing a starvation siege, and killing 2,500 people is why Hamas will release Eden Alexander. So that's what he's trying to say.
Right.
Netanyahu, see, us starving them worked. They're releasing a guy.
Yeah, he didn't want them to release the guy, by the way.
By the way, he did not want them to release them. Of course he doesn't. Hamas has said it would release him right before the ceasefire was broken. He would have been home 2 months ago if it wasn't for Netanyahu. And I think most everyone knows that now, except demented psychopathic Zionists. And you have to be a serious psychopath to be still a Zionist at this point.
Well, that's pretty strong programming.
I mean, people say, how did the Holocaust happen right in front of everyone? Well, you're letting this happen right in front of everyone, and there are people defending it all over the place.
Yeah.
How did
right.
Hitler happen? You're seeing how it happened. They're literally starving a group of women and children. Kids are literally. I am not going to show you the pictures because it's too heartbreaking. But you see them on Twitter. Little babies literally starved to death. This isn't like I'm putting this together. The Israeli officials are saying we are starving them on purpose.
Well, I know you.
So there's no hospitals. They flattened all the hospitals. There's no food. There's no medicine. There's no nothing. This is called a genocide. That's what it's called. So you could quibble over that word or not, but it's the textbook definition of what it is.
Well, I know you have a left-wing take on it.
Yeah.
No, I would agree to disagree. You have the left-wing take that don't do that, genocide.
So this guy, Eden, what's his name? Eden Alexander. You might as well call him Chip because that's what Bibi's bargaining with him. He's a bargaining chip. Max Blumenthal says, Netanyahu freaked out when Trump's team initiated direct talks with Hamas for Eden Alexander, who is a dual U.S. and Israeli citizen. Now there's more of the story comes out.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend was. A lot of people are.
Yeah, but that's just more of it's coming. Hold on. Now it appears Israel has targeted the site where Alexander was held, raising new questions about its use of the Hannibal Directive to kill hostages in Gaza, and thereby reduce the main point of political leverage for Hamas. So now what Max is saying is that Israel's now bombing where they were keeping those hostages to try to kill the hostages.
It's called the Hannibal Directive.
It's called the Hannibal Directive.
And you can watch their news and their talk shows and see the guy who's the guy that BB fired? Said, and they go, was it the Hannibal Directive given? He goes, it was given. And he was like,
yes.
It was given, yes, when it should be given. And so that's why were those guys that were waving the IDF down with their shirts off.
And they killed them.
And I was like, why would they do that? It's just bad. No, they've got a Hannibal Directive to do that.
So Max goes on to say, since October 7th, Israel has killed dozens of Israeli citizens in Gaza, and there is every reason to believe it was done according to official Hannibal orders. So there you go. But the bigger news is that Trump went straight to Hamas. And so I saw somebody say on Twitter that this says a couple of things. That Hamas actually still has a lot of power because you don't negotiate with a group of people that don't have any power.
Yeah.
And the second thing was that I forget what the second thing was.
Well, they made every living person there into Hamas. Israel did.
Yes,
so they could kill them.
That's right.
So once you do that, now by de facto, they're the most important entity there.
Right. So here's from CNN. He was held for 18 months. They announced on Saturday night it had agreed to free him. He's 21 years old after several days of talks with the United States as part of an effort to reach a ceasefire and resume the flow of humanitarian aid to Gaza. So they've stopped medicine and food and water into Gaza. So they're trying to, so that's called siege warfare, which is a war crime. Yeah, okay. No one cares. The group handed Alexander to the Red Cross on Monday, and he returned to Israeli soil shortly later. He later arrived at an Israeli military base for a medical assessment and a long-awaited reunion with his family. The Hostages and Missing Families Forum said he has spoken with his mother, Yael, over the phone. Alexander, wearing a black Adidas t-shirt and a baseball cap, was photographed during his handover to the Red Cross shortly before his convoy left Khan Yunis and headed towards Israel. Hold on. In the living room in Tel Aviv, footage showed his family celebrating. His release comes just days after U.S. President Donald Trump begins his Middle East tour, which stops in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Here it comes. A New Jersey native, he was serving in the Israeli military, Kurt.
Oh, that's an automatic.
So he was more than a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those crazies.
Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service.
So he was serving in the. He went from the United States to Israel to serve in their military, and he got abducted near the Gazan border on October 7th.
Everybody has to serve, so that's why when you see the Hannibal Directive is for IDF, that means everybody because they all get the way a terrorist would target all your citizens.
That's right.
They do to their citizens.
So, as foretold in the Old Testament, Kurt,
yeah,
he was from the original tribe based out of New Jersey.
Yes, the tribes of Haganah and Stern Gang.
That's
the lost tribes.
So now you know the rest. So that's what I was saying. Hold on, he's more than a U.S. citizen.
He's Wonder Woman.
That's what Trump said. Trump didn't ask. Trump didn't tell you. He was also a guy, one of those nuts who goes over there to fight in somebody else's army. Helps an occupation. Following Alexander's release, 58 hostages are still being held in Gaza, with at least 20 believed to be alive. Benjamin Netanyahu called Monday a very emotional moment. Yeah, emotional for you because now when you go back to Washington D.C., Trump's not gonna do your laundry for you. That's it.
I hope.
He effusively praised Trump for securing his. Yank.
A winning combination.
This was achieved thanks to our military pressure and the diplomatic pressure applied by Trump. This is a winning combination. Oh, really?
I don't like that talk. When he says it's a winning combination, it has always meant a losing combination.
Yeah, it was very emotional for Netanyahu because now he's losing reasons to continue the slaughter. That's what that means. I spoke with President Trump today. He told me I am committed to Israel. I'm committed to continue to work with you in close cooperation in order to achieve all of our war objectives, releasing all of the hostages and defeating Hamas. His statement continued, this goes together. They are combined with each other. Trump hailed the development as monumental news in a post on Truth Social where he's Hamas leader Mahmoud Mardwai told the Hamas-affiliated TV station that the militant group, classified as a terrorist organization by the United States and Israel, directly negotiated with the United States to free Aleksander in exchange for the resumption of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Trump's that guy Witkoff, Trump's guy, he told CNN that the talks with Hamas were indirect. He is expected to meet with Netanyahu on Monday afternoon, according to us. So really, okay. All right, well. Gaza is on the brink of famine. I don't think it's the brink anymore.
Yeah, this brink of famine was like a year ago, dude.
I think they're famined. As Israelis' blockade of humanitarian aid and commercial goods stretches into its second month, depleting food warehouses and soup kitchens and sending the cost of basic goods skyrocketing, Israel says it cut off the entry of humanitarian aid to pressure Hamas to release hostages. So that's a war crime. You can't cut off medicine, water, and food to women and children and elderly men for a political outcome. That's called siege warfare. That's called a war crime. That's called you are the Nazis.
But what if I want to kill the hostages too?
Yeah, right. But international organizations, that's like saying I'm angry at this guy, so I'm going to starve his baby.
I'll never forgive him for making me do that to his baby.
Yeah. International organizations say its actions violate. So CNN won't say it. They'll say some international organizations say it violates international law. You think?
The results of the Nuremberg trials? Like, what do you? The genocide definition comes from that. I didn't make it up.
Some are accusing Israel of using starvation as a weapon of war. That's obviously what they're doing. And CNN's like, well, some people say.
Yeah.
We're not going to say it.
But it's always somebody spreading the thing. Hey, some people say Macron was doing blow with those guys.
Some people say Macron's wife is a dude. Israel has not said it will resume humanitarian aid into Gaza. Netanyahu's office said in a statement on Monday that Israel has not committed to a ceasefire nor the release of any Palestinian prisoners, only to a safe corridor that will allow for Eden's release. Only actual humans would restore humanitarian aid. So, of course, Netanyahu's not going to do that. In a post on social media, Trump said he hoped the release would lead to the end of this brutal conflict, but the longtime Israeli prime minister said that the negotiations will take place under fire. Mahmoud Abbas, he's the president of the Palestinian Authority, the PLO, he said in a Monday statement he welcomed efforts to halt the war and issued rare praise for Trump. Abbas commented commended the U.S. President Donald Trump for his position, in which he later hopes to bring the end to the vicious conflict and the war that has been going on for 2 years. Okay, well, that's nice. APAC tracker says reminder that Eden Aleksander is a dual American-Israeli citizen who moved overseas to join the Israeli military so he could partake in ethnic cleansing and genocide. He was a prisoner of war. He's not an innocent hostage. Well said.
Do you remember when they were threatening the hostages who were saying they were treated well?
Yeah. Better not say that.
That's why they have a Hannibal directive, because it's a hassle when they live.
That's right.
And they don't feed into your narrative.
Stu Peters says Eden Aleksander is a dual citizen who was serving in a foreign military where he participated in committing genocide against innocent Palestinian kids. The kid is a traitor and shouldn't be allowed back on U.S. soil. That's according to Stu Peters. He's a super right-winger.
Well, is he a traitor? I mean...
Israel breaks Gaza ceasefire, killing more than 400 in a wave of strikes. That was from March 18th. Israel did that. Let's see. This person just repeats Trump's post about it and says, no mention of Palestinian hostages being released. Isn't that interesting?
No, I think they marched for the right for the IDF soldiers to rape them in prison, if you recall.
Yeah.
Chabad.
So then the prime minister releases their stupid thing that makes it sound like Jeremy Scahill says Al-Qassam brigades on release of this is what they say. We affirm that serious and responsible negotiations achieve results in the release of prisoners. However, continuing the aggression prolongs their suffering and may kill them. Of course it does. We affirm the movement's readiness to immediately begin negotiations to reach a comprehensive and sustainable ceasefire agreement. We urge the Trump administration to continue its efforts to end this brutal war waged by the war criminal Netanyahu against children, women, and defenseless civilians in the Gaza Strip. And everybody is saying the problem is Netanyahu, even the former prime ministers. Ehud Barak, is that his name? Is saying, yeah, the problem here is Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not Hamas. It's not the Palestinian babies. It's Netanyahu, because he's wanted this all along. They want to make it so unlivable in Gaza, which they've done, and now they're starving them, so that it'll be such a horrible disaster that they'll leave and go to other countries. That's what this is all about, so that the Israeli Zionists can take over Gaza 100%. By the way, don't forget there's $500 billion worth of gas underneath Gaza. $500 billion. And so they could also take over the West Bank. Okay, over to Steph.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy. As for me, however, I am filled with the power by the Spirit of the Lord, with the justice and courage to proclaim to Jacob his rebellion and Israel his sin. And it says, Micah 3:8. Fake account. Eric says, Macron needs the cola to enjoy his wife's tool. Eric Hassau comes back. I heard the kid is the lost tribe of Hoboken.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Oh,
so
back to Jimmy.
I want to show you, this is a woman who went to Israel in 1973, not October 7th, 2023, in 1973. And she saw what Israel was. It's a ethnic supremacist state. It's a Jewish supremacist. So you know that they have white supremacists in the United States? Well, they have Jewish supremacists in Israel. That's what that is. They're Jewish supremacists. And it's an apartheid state. Just like we all boycotted and protested against South Africa when it was an apartheid state. Well, that's the same thing. Well, she went there, and here's what she realized. In 1973, she went there as an Israel-loving Jew, and guess what happened?
Where are you from?
I am from London.
Yeah.
But my father was a Zionist.
Okay.
He was from Poland.
Yeah.
And he lost his family in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
But
oh, weird that the Zionists came from Poland. Isn't that weird? Kind of like Benjamin Mikowski. I'm sorry, Benjamin Netanyahu.
It's weird the Ukraine wasn't Israel instead.
Why didn't they make Israel in Germany? Why didn't they make Israel in Ukraine? Why did they got to go take Palestinian land to make Israel? That doesn't make any sense, right, Kurt?
Well, you say it doesn't make sense, but I say make it illegal to get DNA tests there.
Yeah. Okay. So here she goes on. Her father was a Zionist.
he brought me up as an anti-racist.
Yeah.
So when 1973, I didn't know any better. I went to Israel.
Yeah.
I saw apartheid. I saw the racism. I saw what was terrible. And I came back anti-racist, anti-Zionist. And from then, I have fought for Palestine since then.
Yeah.
So that's like a normal human being. Like a normal human being, like an anti-racist. Now she's also an anti-Zionist because Zionism is racism. Okay.
If I tell you these are the real Jews we respect as a Muslim or as a Pakistani, the sport Palestine you can see there. I can't explain you in my words that I have how much respect for you.
Oh, no need.
No need, brother. I want to meet any Jews that I saw on social media that Jews support Palestine, but it's
Yes, many of us.
many of us respect too much. But some of them don't support the sport directly Israel or like genocide.
I hate it. We always have to say, I don't think they're real Jews, they're Zionists. Real Jews are like Muslims, we do not support.
Yeah.
So, lovely to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back on
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
So, and just in case you don't know, even the Jewish newspapers are calling it an apartheid. This is not. So when I had RFK Jr. in here and he was doing his blackmail a piece over how Israel is the most, And I said, do you know of one human rights organization in the world that doesn't refer to Israel as a apartheid state? I mean, even John Kerry called it an apartheid state on a secret recording. Of course, everybody knows it's an apartheid state, but people go, no, there's they let Palestinians in there vote and okay. So if you want to know what apartheid a la Israel looks like, look no further than the West Bank village. That's according to Haaretz. That's from May 11th, 2025. So, if you're a normal person, you go there, you experience apartheid, you're like, oh, I'm not a racist like the Zionists are. And again, it's not, I don't conflate Jews with Zionism because most of the Jews I know are against Zionism. I know some who aren't. And some of those Jews are Catholic. But I don't write anybody off for being a Zionist, just like I don't write anybody off for pushing Russiagate. I don't write anybody off for pushing COVID lies, and still to this day, I'm trying to take the high road and engage them and persuade them. Because if I cut off everybody, that I would have no one left. Right? It would just be me and my dog.
Our production team.
A lot of them I have problems with. They're not sufficiently supportive of Israel. I don't know if you saw Misha's last video.
Yeah.
She's horrible.
She might as well say Christ is king, and
she might as well say Christ is king.
Buy a Kanye shirt.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about donut sugar. Okay. By the way, we'll see you in Buffalo. We're going to be in Buffalo at the Helium Comedy Club. It's a nice club. Russell Dobular's living there now. Did you know that?
Is he in Buffalo?
Yeah, he pretends that Manhattan is so horrible he had to get the hell out of there, and he went to Buffalo. I get that Manhattan has changed.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the greatest places in the world, if not the.
It's all cold to me.
It is cold. If you're gonna get the hell out of Manhattan, why wouldn't you go somewhere warm, right? When you go to Tuscan, or do you say Tucson? I say Tuscan.
I feel like I'm back in Tuscan.
Yeah.
On my honeymoon.
Tuscan, Arizona. I don't know. Wouldn't you? I would go at least Southern Illinois.
Oh, Arizona in this time of year.
Right? I don't know. If I was single, I would go to Hawaii. I'd go to Hawaii, or I'd go to Italy. I wouldn't go to. It's freezing cold there. People, you know how it's cold there. You know how when how it's always cold there, because we were there one time and it was like 40 degrees and people are outside walking around in shirts. You're like, holy shit! It must really be cold here most of the time.
Well, what if you wanted to make an honest man out of Keaton finally?
Anyway, but we'll be in Buffalo telling the jokes. We'll see you in Buffalo. We always have a good time when we go to Buffalo.
Do you see Keaton there?
We're going to see him when he's there, yeah.
All right.
He's going to come to the show. You got to go? I think you should go.
You got to go fly home. All right, bye,
guys.
Go.
Bye, Kurt. Kurt's got to take off.
Bye,
He's going
Kurt.
back. He's going back to Austin. What's the weather in Austin, Kurt?
Say?
Well, how's the weather in Austin? Good?
It was hot. It was kind of nicer here, I thought.
Okay.
It'll be hot when I get there.
Bye, buddy.
All right.
Bye.
Tell everybody I said hello. Okay, so we'll be in Buffalo, then Toledo, and then Montreal and Ottawa. Never been to Montreal, never been to Ottawa. Telling jokes, I actually have been to Montreal. So we're going to see. We're going into the belly of the beast.
Is it like Seattle?
Yes, it's like Seattle.
Oh, no.
Belly of the beast. But we have lots of fans there. Toledo, Toronto sold out a month ahead of time. 800 tickets. You know what that tells me? We screwed ourselves. Should have played there Saturday and Sunday and skipped Ottawa. Or moved Ottawa to Monday. That'd have been better. I don't know. Whatever. We should have spent one more day in Toronto because we probably could have sold another 400 tickets. But we'll see you in Ottawa, and we'll see you in Montreal. Montreal. Quebec. Canada is not Quebec without... Quebec is not Quebec without Canada. Canada is not Canada without Quebec. I'll never forget that. That's when they were trying to secede. Hey, by the way, did you hear I think there's a province in Canada that's actually took a vote to secede and
it wasn't Alberta?
Join them. Was it Alberta?
Why did I
That
think
they
that?
want to join America.
Right? I saw that.
Which one? We should have covered that. That's a great story. We'll cover it Wednesday. Today, Monday? Okay. I'm overworked, folks. And I know that sounds funny.
Yes.
Because I used to, what?
Alberta is right. Could Alberta leave Canada?
You know,
What to know?
the beauty of when I did masonry, when I did tuck pointing and brickwork,
Roofer!
was when you were done working, you were done working. It wasn't shit in your head. You weren't thinking about it. You wouldn't wake up in the morning first thing and it's constantly shit I have to do with thinking about it. Oh God. So there was a beauty in that. You know what I'm talking about, Misha? Do you? Do you work? Do you think about work when you're not at work? I do. You do? Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's good that I'm not the only one then. Oh, yeah?
Watch your mouth.
You say bricks? Oh. Over to Steph.
Oh, sneaking that one up on me, Jimmy. It's so funny when Misha and I are during the weekends. It's like sometimes I just want to say hi because I feel like we're friends. Like I want to call my friend up, but it's also like we work together. We work together on one desk. We face each other.
I'd hate to break it to you, Steph. You're not really friends.
Oh, you didn't go to line dancing with us. We're friends. We slapped leather. Did you, Jimmy? I don't think so. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I know, slapping leather. That was hard. You did really good at slapping leather. Did
you enjoy it? Are you ever going to go to line dancing again?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. It was hard. It was hard. So we're learning it. Like we thought we were learning how to do this, the line dancing. All of a sudden she plays the music at the regular tempo that it should be. And it felt like it was 20 times faster than what we just learned.
So are there nightclubs that do this form of line dancing?
Oh, I'm sure there are. Yeah, they're Western clubs. Yeah. Oh, Montana's, huh?
Oh, wow. All right. Montana's. Not like Tony Montana's. No. So Montana's like with the moose and shit?
Yes, just like that.
Okay.
Just like that. Well, really the thing that he'll do is salsa. They do teach salsa. I think it's like in 2 weeks they have a salsa, but it's like a 5-week course and it's just starts and then we leave. Very complicated. Anyways, tune in. Okay. Dave Smith on Tucker. Milo just told me. Thank you, Milo. That's definitely not cocaine. Next, you tell Macron's wife is actually his husband. I'm not falling for it. That's Jack in a box. Or is that Jacques in a box? Not drinking in home of whiskey. Sorry, we're a country of alcoholics. You're not allowed in otherwise. Howlin' Wolf is a great blues and cocktail bar. Ross Monroe. Thank you, Ross. Natalie. Check out B. Gates has partnered with Coca-Cola to put fluorescent nanoparticles in your soda. Doesn't that sound yummicious? Crosses the BBB and alters DNA. Your thirst is quenched. Okay, what do we have here? Goo, also Jimmy, Israel are even shooting and killing Palestinian fishermen trying to go get fish. Israel not allowing them to fish and bombed and destroyed fertility clinic, killing 4,000 embryos. Yeah, they just want to annihilate. Complete genocide. What? I mean, when you see this annihilation, what does the Israeli government think other people are going to view Israel?
I know.
Oh, you know, I want to take a vacation there. Here we go. Not drink. Oh, I read that one. That Macron is one sleazy politician. Remember that time during an interview where he took off his expensive watch and thought no one would notice? Julio, I did not know that one. That does not sound familiar to me. Back from the road. Thank you, Back from the Road. Israel is a daily reminder of why we as a species should be proud of the victory over the minority rule in Rhodesia. Back from the road. Thank you. Oh, Jimmy, you're leaving just at that point. Oy. Okay, we would have done that for you, mister, since you're right in my camera. Not that you care. Zionism, the ultimate Nazi hijacking of Judaism. That's hardly daylight.
Okay.
Oh, back to Jim.